So the second person in my series of IELTS speaking tests with corrections is a student of mine by the name of Niles. I taught him some time ago, though. He's not a current student. Anyway, his strongest point is that he has a very, very strong speaking voice. By the way, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and be sure to slam the like button. Anyway, let's go on and see how Niles did. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll go ahead and get started. There are three parts to the test. I'll just go ahead and begin.
Okay.
How do you usually spend your weekends?
My weekends. All right. I usually do poem recitation, um, or I do writing and stuff like that.
Best not to say I do writing, just say I write. Just use write as the verb. I write.
For instance, I would do something that is more leaning towards to my passion, which is writing stuff that I usually express myself. So, for instance, I would love I would love write something that is
Hey, Niles is having a little difficulty here. He should continue to speak in the present tense only and just say, I love to write things, or I love to write.
more related to my life and stuff like that. Mhm. And poem recitation, on the other hand, I usually recite a poem where it's the same thing as writing. I usually express myself using metaphoric, how do you say the word? Metaphor. Yeah, metaphoric.
Yes, metaphors
Yeah,
or
metaphors. Yeah.
metaphoric language.
Yes.
Well, that's very, very interesting. How long have you been writing poetry?
Um, since I was 15 years old, I was very passionate about that career. Yeah.
Niles should use the present perfect tense here. Since I was 15, I have been very passionate. Have been. Okay.
Not
Okay. Well,
career
that's very,
exactly.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Right. I guess,
Thank you.
would you call that a hobby
I would say a hobby. Yes, a very
or a
interesting one.
pastime? Something like that.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. The next question. Which is your favorite part of the weekend?
Favorite part of the
So I guess
weekend.
that would be, I guess that would mean Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Hmm. I would probably say that Friday, because Friday. Um, let's just put it this way.
Let's just put it this way.
Friday is amazing because I went. Not I went. I go to college and
That was good that Niles was able to correct himself and change went to go. The examiner would notice that. That's something they look for to see if you can correct your own errors.
whenever I finish my college and I went straight back to home, and it feels very amazing.
Okay, with home, we do not say to home. We just say, I went back home. Whenever I went back home.
Because all the stress that you've been through um, at college is just how do you say this? It's just
Perhaps just fades away.
you don't think about that, or you don't think about that, you know.
Right, yeah, you can relax and
Yeah.
unwind, sometimes we say. Okay, very good, Niles. Uh, let's move on to the next one. Do you think your weekends are long enough?
Oh no. Why? Because I think weekend should be um long, in a way that in a way that I can I can relax myself more, you know. instead of relax just for like 3 days.
Saying relax myself is not very natural English. We just say so I can relax. He also said instead of just relax for 3 days, he should have said instead of just relaxing for 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 days are not long enough, right?
It's not long enough for
I
me.
suppose most people, right. Most
Yeah.
people would probably agree with you. How important do you think it is to have free time at the weekends?
Hmm. Well, you see, family, friends, I would say that a connection. Well, a free time as a student, right? You well, it
Niles is having a little difficulty here in gathering his thoughts. Be sure to speak in an organized manner if you can.
you are supposedly to do
You are supposed to do.
and to do your education and stuff like that at college, but it doesn't necessarily for you to really emphasize on one particular thing.
It isn't necessary for you to emphasize only one particular thing or concentrate on one particular thing.
So at weekends, you should probably separate your time, with your family or your friends
So I guess he means separate your time from school to spend time with your family and friends.
to to make the connection more strong enough, I would say.
I believe he said to make the connections more strong enough. He should just say to make the connections stronger. Okay, now these questions aren't here, but they often ask you some very simple questions like, what's your favorite food? So could you answer that for me?
My favorite food.
Yeah, that's not on the list here, but I'm just going to ask you
Okay.
that.
I would say Western food. To be more specific, I would say that lamb chop.
This might just be me, but I would probably say lamb chops in the plural. That's probably because the word chop sounds like you cut something into pieces and should be plural. Okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's a good choice.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on to part two. So with part two, the examiner would hand you a card, and I will go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and read this card. Describe someone you know who does something well. You
Okay.
should say who this person is, how you know this person, what they do well, and explain why you think this person is so good at doing this.
Okay.
So during a real test, the examiner would not read it, but he would just give you the card, and then you have 1 minute to write down some notes
Okay.
and prepare your answer. And then after 1 minute, you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So do you understand the instructions?
Yes. Understood.
Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to prepare beginning right now.
Okay.
I will jump ahead so you don't have to wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Niles, you should
Okay.
begin speaking now for at least 1 minute, 1 to 2
All right.
minutes.
Um, someone that I know really well that do something really
Should be that does something.
exquisitely. I would say that my friend Sebastian Nathaniel. He's one of the friends that really helped me along the way.
He's one of my friends who has really helped me along the way.
In a way that um, I I passed my vulnerable situation where since I was 15 years old, I faced this some kind of trouble where I where I have these anxiety to face all the people out there.
Niles is having a very difficult time here organizing his thoughts. So how can we say this? Uh, Sebastian helped me get through a very vulnerable period in my life where since the age of 15, I had great anxieties about meeting people in my life. Maybe something like that.
So I met Sebastian, and then he told me that everything's going to be okay and fine.
This is reported speech, so everything should be in the past tense. He told me everything was going to be okay and fine, not is.
And then along the way, he taught me how to be strong, how to be bold and indestructible simultaneously.
The word simultaneously should go before the list of the three things. He told me how to simultaneously be strong, bold, and indestructible.
And he said that you should do something that is more educational. So meaning that you should do something that is passionate for you.
You should do something that you are passionate about.
For instance, I like writing. So he relates my passion to my story. So he said that, oh, um you should write something you should write something regarding to your story just to express yourself, you know. So in that way, he helped me a lot. So I think that is the good thing that I find, you know. Yeah.
So he's not showing much confidence here in how he should phrase his thoughts. He's a little disorganized still. Yeah, that's over 1 minute. That's about a minute and
Mhm.
45 seconds, in fact. So you did very well.
Okay.
Yes, that's perfectly long enough. Good.
Okay.
So we'll move on to part three. Now, part three questions are loosely related to the part two topic, but these
Okay.
questions tend to be more abstract and often ask you for your opinion. So let's see it here. It says skills and abilities. What skills and abilities do people most want to have today and why?
Hmm. Well, skills and abilities, I would put um in one word, which is soft skills. Soft skills can be broken down into many phases. You know, it can be communication skills. It can be your interpersonal skills. I think these skills are very vital for not just only students but society themselves. Mhm.
Niles seems to find this topic a little easier to talk about. He's a little more organized now. Okay, very good. We'll move on to the next question. Which skills should children learn at school? Are there any schools which they should learn at home? What are they?
Hmm. As I said, soft skills. Well, soft skills, it it should be strongly
Soft skills is plural, so you can't use the pronoun it.
taught since they were in primary school at their very young age. So in this case, when they meticulously develop their soft skills, right?
He needs to enunciate the word develop more. It's difficult to understand.
It will be um, it will be resilient. That's the word. It will be resilient. So in a way that
Since this is hypothetical, he should say it would be resilient.
they should not be afraid of anything. For instance, communicate with another human being. You know,
For instance, communicating with other human beings.
not all humans have the ability to talk fluently and eloquently. You know, so with this kind of
So Niles is using some less common words here, and that's good for the IELTS. They're looking for words like that, like eloquently. It's a very good word to use here.
Ability, it will help them develop in a way.
Niles is placing the stress on the last syllable in develop, making it sound like devil up. Okay, very good, Niles. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Which skills do you think will be important in the future and why?
Mhm. Well, the skills that I think is important
Should be are important.
would be leadership. Well, leadership skills is one of the skills that
Skills is plural, so he needs to say leadership skills are some of the skills that.
all all humans are trying to learn nowadays. Well, in the future, we can imagine that there is a lot of things will be going on, which is sophisticated technology and stuff like that.
We can imagine there will be a lot of things going on in the future, such as sophisticated technology.
And there will be probably um, at one state that it strongly needs a leadership skills.
That should be some leadership skills.
A leadership skills is something that you need to earn
Leadership skills are things you need to learn.
in the future so that you can educate the youngsters, not just educate, but facilitate, guide them. Um, yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Niles. Okay, let's move on to this next section, salaries for skilled people. Which kinds of jobs have the highest salaries in your country?
Hmm. Well, based on my
He needs to enunciate better. Well, based upon my.
experience or my prior knowledge, I would probably leaning towards to um, business.
I would probably lean towards business.
Well, business, talking about business can be broken down into many categories. It can be clothing, it can be shoes, anything like that. So people who has this kind of businesses,
Well, he went back and forth with who have and who has, but unfortunately he settled on the incorrect answer. It's who have.
it really it's amazing because people with people who are a businessman or businesswoman,
People who are businessmen or businesswomen.
it is often called a rich rich family.
Perhaps are often known for being the heads of rich families.
I don't know. I think yeah. I think the highest salaries I would probably go to business.
Okay, very good. Okay, and next we have, are there any other jobs that you think should have high salaries?
Yes. As a Thessalian, right? Well, my passion is to be an educator. So if I get the chance
Since it's hypothetical, he should say, if I got the chance.
to debate on this topic, I would say that an educator should be should have the high should get the high salaries as others.
They should get as high salaries as others.
The standard has to be tally in a way that everybody gets um, gets everybody what they
Gets everybody what they want.
wanted. So to be an educator, it's the same as business. It requires critical thinking. It requires passion. It requires your ideas and stuff like that. So I think an educator or a teacher should be should get the high salaries as others do.
should get as high salaries as others get?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, very good. And I think this is the last question. Some
Okay.
people say it would be better for society if everyone got the same salary. What do you think about that?
Why? All right. I think it will be.
I think it would be.
I mean, I strongly agree with this interpretation because um, well, some people may not because they have their own elucidation towards this.
Well, there's no such word as elucidations. There is elicitations, which means to draw forth emotions, but I'm not sure if that's really what he means. He may not be using the right word here at all.
I would say that yes, because well, every job has their own qualifications
Every job is singular, so it should be every job has its own qualifications.
and what's the word?
Hmm.
Pardon.
Well, okay.
Okay.
And requirements, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, and
Qualifications and
requirements.
requirements.
hmm So I think that if
That's the word he should have used first was requirements. A job doesn't have qualifications, it has requirements. People have qualifications.
the requirements are degree and degree, I think the salary should be tally. And if you are master and master, I think it should be salary. I think it's absurd, but I think I will put that. I will put it in that way. Mhm.
Well, do you think everyone should get the same salary? I mean, like if somebody works at McDonald's and somebody works as a doctor, should they get the same salary?
I think no, as I said no, because I have no idea on that. But I think no. The
That'd be
conclusion
kind
is
of
no.
strange. I don't know.
Yeah, uh-huh. It's absurd.
It sounds a bit communistic to me. I think in communist countries, people are supposed to get the same salary or close to the same
hmm
salary, but I don't know.
hmm
I guess that doesn't work. But
hmm
anyway, okay. Well, thank you very much, Niles, for participating in this mock test, and I'll get your corrections back to you as soon as I
All
can.
right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and thank you again. Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Stay safe.